I'm going to do an insight video today, and over the last couple of days and over the last couple of weeks, it's been a lot of stuff around sort of, I feel like, integration. I'm feeling like a really strong pull around sort of like integrations of higher self with human self, and what that means in like a spiritual experience, and how this is related to us in one way, sort of like aligning and becoming more sort of like energetic beings, like bringing on new vibrations, new frequencies, new consciousness. And this is really important at this time as we start to move into this next phase of spiritual cycles of growth and sort of awareness, and we start to sort of like move through an ascension process. I was just sort of like looking around Facebook this morning. I was just having a quick look, and I was sort of like scanning through, and I come across the word monad. And I've heard this word many times before, but I just thought I'd have a look at and what it means. And spiritually, it means like the monad is like your higher self, or like your soul. It connects to your soul, and it's very much around sort of like, again, allowing this sort of like aspect of being to come online. And this is a really important word. I keep using this word being, like with the masters and the angels. And when you start talking about the word being, it's sort of like, it's not about sort of like thinking. It's not about sort of like, in a sense, when you're being, it means you're aligned with this sense of your infinite source, light and energy. And beingness is the state where we're aligned with our energy, with the higher aspect of self. And it also connects to coming into oneness again, this oneness vibration, this oneness frequency, which is so important. And again, this connects to the universal laws. You've got the universal law of vibration, of frequency, and you've got the universal law of oneness. And these two laws are very much sort of connected into this state of beingness. And the universal law of oneness is, again, that we're all source light beings, that we're all connected, we're all part, and we're all born of this source light creation, or this source light creator. And we're all sort of like, we all hold the frequency, the vibration of this source light, which is the creative force of all reality, of all consciousness, of all spiritual realities and dimensions. And we're all born of this, so we all vibrate with it. Everything vibrates with this creator source vibration and frequency. Like everything, everything that we see is a reflection of that. Everything holds this frequency. And this is the shift of consciousness, this is the shift of awareness, that we start to understand that we walk with that vibration, we walk with that frequency. So as we walk with that, we can also vibrate with it. And this is, again, is this state of being where we know that we're energy and light, and we're walking on this plane with energy and light. And this time's very much around that. The integration is the awareness, is the waking up to that we are all this, we're all source light creation. And again, it connects to like the universal law of compensation, which is very much around sort of um, correspondence. Sorry, the universal law of correspondence. I feel like I've just been corrected there in my mind. The universal law of correspondence connects to this. The fact that we're all sort of like, at our core, with this essence of source light creation, source light vibration. And universal law of correspondence is that we create from this center, we create from this aspect of our being. And it connects to our consciousness, it connects to our vibration, it connects to our frequency, and then it reflects and creates reality. So this is why it's really important, because when we start to realize that the universal laws, uh, if you're being directed or guided, the universal laws, they're very much, I feel you're on a master vibration, or you're working with the masters, because the universal laws are very much a teaching tool of the masters. They start to allow you to realize that the universal laws are there, and they very much connect. They're obviously created from the source light vibration and create and sort of creator aspect of self, but they're also they're a reflection of the source light vibration, as is everything. And is with the masters rays and the angels, they're all reflections of this source light being, and this that we're all born from and we're all part of. And the awakening is understanding that we all have this aspect of self, that we all have an aspect of infinite consciousness, infinite vibration, infinite frequency that we can create from. And the universal law of correspondence teaches us that we are creators of our own reality, and we all have this aspect of self within each and every one of our energy frequency and energy vibrations and energy field. And when we start to wake up to that, we start to see um, what happens for me is when I connect into this universal law, what I feel like is I'm in that vibration, and everything on the outside of the world is fluid. It's like energy that's vibrating like this. And when I'm in that sense of being in that universal law of correspondence, or in that source light frequency, everything externally is like I said, fluid. It's vibrating. And when I'm in that sense of I'm in that energy, what I can do is my experiences and the things that go on, I can sort of respond to them from a place of harmony, balance, and union. But I can also sort of like respond to them from a place of consciousness that I know whatever's on the outside isn't affecting me, isn't affecting my vibration, isn't affecting my life. What's I can sort of create different outcomes, infinite outcomes, infinite different sort of responses to it. And it's, you start to realize that the external world is just a reflection. It's just a reflection of what's when you're in that source like creation, and you know that you have the power. And it's spiritual alchemy. It's the ability to change and manifest and create something different. And you see, within each second and each moment, you are a creator. You can create how you feel, how you respond to something. And it's a really important and powerful tool. It also connects into like the, again, sort of like the sort of like the universal law of transformation and transmutation. And it connects to Saint Germain and the teachings of Saint Germain and the alchemy. And it also connects to, so like Saint Germain was like, it has many lives. And then you talk about like Merlin the magician, which is very much about spiritual alchemy. It's about creation. It's about being able to manifest and sort of create without feeling like the external world. Because you, when the awakening is understanding the external world it isn't sort of like affecting your reality, and it isn't creating your reality. The external world is a blueprint. It's like sacred geometry, where you can actually you have the understand that you have this energy and this vibration, that you can create reality, you can create and manifest reality. And this is part of the shifting of what many people are getting with source light creation. They're understanding that they're manifestors and they're creators. And this is a six-dimensional sort of sort of like shift, paradigm shift. That's what a paradigm shift, where we're starting to realize that we are creators, and we're not sort of like restricted and we're not affected by the external world to a degree. And this is part of the sort of the lesson and the awakening and the consciousness that has been coming through to me over the last 6 or 8 months. I'm being told to stay in my own energy, in my own frequency, in my own light, and I'm being told to walk as this aspect. And when I do that, I can create, and I'm not affected by the external world, because the external world is the illusion. It's like an energetic sort of like the energy on the external world. It can be sort of like created, it can be shifted, it can be changed at will. And it's telling me more and more, when I'm in that light and I'm in that energy, the external world um, can be created and manifested into what I want it to be. And now I'm not saying that realities are manifesting within seconds. What I mean by that is it's this sense of like, where you know that if something comes along, and when you're in harmony and you're connected and you integrate in this higher self, you have an awareness that the external world does not create your reality, the internal world does. And this is where the universal law of correspondence comes in again, and you start to realize that whatever's coming in, if you're in that vibration, that frequency, it doesn't affect you. It only affects you if you sort of like create and attach to that external reality. The external reality is is, like I said, is only a reflection of your internal reality. But it's only when we sort of like we feel that we're limited and we feel affected and we get attached to challenges and events that we start to then believe them, and then we align our consciousness with them and our energy with them, and then that makes it a reality. But it's not a reality. It's just, they're just events and things that are happening. It's just the energies that act externally, and all things like that affect us, challenges and events and experiences, are only vibrations and frequencies of energy. And when we shift and change, and we remain in that sort of like that source like vibration or creation, and we integrate that infinite self, that higher self, we realize that we can create a level of consciousness that you know, that energy, we shift and change it into a higher vibration, a higher frequency. And when we do that, we start to experience things in a different way. We experience them in a more spiritual way, we're able to dissolve them and move through them quickly without allowing them to manifest, or allow them to sort of vibrate in a way that they actually then, we internalize them, and then they affect us in that way. We start to realize that we can shift and change it, and reality is only a reflection of what we're creating, and we're the creators, not the external reality. And this is really, really important, and it's hard to explain in human terms. But as I sit there in this vibration at the moment, I feel like I'm vibrating in this beautiful vibration, and I feel like my energy, vibration and frequency is a different vibration and frequency, and it vibrates differently to the external energy, because I know that I'm creating from my source, from my source energy vibration, and the external world vibrates slower than that in a sense, because my inner vibration is an infinite vibration. And I start to realize that all I have to do is vibrate from that source light vibration, that source light center, and I realize the external reality then will vibrate, and it will resonate with the same vibration that I'm creating. And that's how you start to understand the creative vibration, the source light vibration. That when you're in that vibration, you vibrate on a different frequency, a higher frequency than the external world, which is a 3D reality. And you start to know that if you're vibrating on that high frequency, then the external world will then match that frequency. So you will create the higher vibrations and the higher frequencies within the external world. And then what that does is that opens up the universal law of of like cause and effect, the universal law of compensation, and the universal law of attraction. And you start to realize that you're the vibration. The external world is just energy, and matter is creating and manifesting in line with your vibration, your frequency. And this is why people meditate, and this is why people go into sort of like work out how to use energy and light, because they realize that when they're on that higher vibration, what they're doing is they're matching the external world to their inner vibration. That's why it's so important to gain peace, harmony, presence, insight and awareness, and aligning and integrating. This is why it's so important to integrate your infinite self, your higher self at the moment. And the masters knew this, and many spiritual teachers and spiritual beings understand this. But also remember, when you're connected into the source light creation, you're then open as a channel, so you will also then receive and attract the higher frequencies, the higher vibrations, the guides, the angels, the masters, the universal teachers. Each and every one of us need to open up to this vibration, and when we do, then all we can do is bring in abundance and sort of awareness, insight into our lives, and we start to realize that we are the frequency, and when we're in that frequency, we're creating reality, and the external world is only a reflection. That's why universal law of correspondence is important. So that's the insight for today.